Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Trails of Cold Steel 3. So, from now on, I think from now on, these episodes will have to be done through my phone, because I hit another block scene, and it's getting to the climax. We're getting to the end, so I feel like at this point, the stuff they don't want people seeing, it's just, I gotta do it through my phone now, I feel. I literally have to fix this again. I just fixed the audio. I don't know how well you guys can even hear me. I don't know if this microphone even works or if you're hearing me through the phone. I know for a fact you sure as hell couldn't hear me right
Let's
now.
go! Let's go!
I'm gonna have to put it down to like that, I feel. But anyway, I'm gonna try it like that for an episode and then see what happens. Because again, I don't know how the fuck this stuff works. But either way, I've messed with our equipment and stuff like that. I've messed with our ordnance and all that. So that stuff is good and ready to go. I now have to go through these events for a second time because I did record it normally on PlayStation 4 because I went in there and then it said block scene. That was only like 13 minutes, so I'm not just happy like that. I didn't turn off any fucking notifications on my phone before starting this. Shit! Because you guys can totally see that. Damn it! I'm just gonna have to hope for 30 minutes and not a single notification pops up. The door's locked. Looks like the embassy's post is closed. Well, they basically declared war with them after all. We have to accept that, I need to put my phone in a place where I can, like, you know, see it. You know, God, this is so hard to do. I need to just look at the phone. Yeah. I wonder if the officials still here will be deported as well. Oh, and that quirk. They've really done it. That means the government is serious. And that means we have to be ready for anything. Hold on, let me put this mic on my shirt. There's nothing left for us to do. We need to go forth and find our way. Right. See, because, like, now I should just do this, like, just look at the phone. Yeah, I'm telling you, with my sucky-ass internet, these episodes are gonna be hell. They're gonna be lagging all over the place, they're gonna be cutting out. Ugh. I need to get a fucking Elgato. But at least I turned off those notifications now. Is that the Imperial Defense Force? Yeah, hell, fucking fuck off. I don't even need this on. So stay down there. Dude, stop doing that. Piece of shit. You see what that's what I say when the headset disconnects. That's sometimes what happens, especially if I have two accounts going. Anyway, they weren't even really patrolling until yesterday. What should we do, Reen? We can't get any closer. We'll just have to wait. Begged to come along because we were so worried. I hope Princess Alphen's doing alright. Everything will be okay, I can feel it. After all, I'm always super lucky. Well, you have been on a lucky streak recently, but still. We came along with President Elise as her escorts. I hope everything goes well. I had to delete a lot of pictures off my phone so I could get more space to record multiple episodes here. I guess this is how the Star Festival's gonna end. The person I met at the race course was in a real hurry. I'm very grateful to him for getting me this room, but what should I do now? Dear valued guests, we request that you refrain from going out as much as possible. We are in the middle of a difficult situation, but this thing is a national import. This is a matter of national import. We'll have to work together to make it through. See, I can even mute my mic if I want to, so this is something too. There are some students from the girls' school here. Same Australia is a boarding school, so the girls must feel uneasy. I wonder if there's anything we can do to help them. I forgot to turn off PlayStation notifications. Something seems strange out front. This morning people were going out to pray at the cathedral, but no one's outside anymore. I wonder what happened. I get inspiration for new songs at the worst possible times. How unscrupulous. But I better write it down while I can. This grim song is full of despair. Again, I'm just going to apologize for any wag that happens at any moment. This is such a weird recording setup, because I'm looking down on my phone on the TV stand when I could be looking at the big-ass TV. Alright, okay, Elise. Sorry for asking you to do this. I'd do anything for your sister. And I'm just don't even want to bother. Grandfather! Green! Oh, you're here. Welcome, this is quite a spectacle. Green, you say everyone. Thank goodness you're all okay. I just heard about your situation with Elise too. I see. You must have come here because you were worried about Instructor Reen. I won't deny it, but I was hoping to get a hold of the princess. That's certainly worth the worry, especially considering what happened yesterday. Her father was right before her eyes, too. Not to mention that speech your younger brother gave today. Hey, Fee. I talked to the two of them outside earlier. I had the opportunity to meet Elise during the inspections in Crossbell. I had my people connect with the communication department at the Imperial Palace. They're not very security conscientious, so it should work out. I know they do that right. I suppose we did just finish with the communication system in Valflame Palace. It'll be hard to do so directly, but that should be a good way to get a hold of her. I'm allowed to contact them now. If things go well, you can talk to her. With Arena's negotiations and Gwyn on the controls, a call was successfully made to Valflame Palace, and a meeting with Princess Alphen was set up. I was surprised to hear that Gwyn and Chairman Irina were contacting me, but I never thought it would be Elise along with Irina and the others. Princess, I'm glad I get to see your face. His Majesty, how is he? There haven't been any updates. He's still in critical condition. But this morning, the medical college brought in a famous doctor. Is that? The doctor who treated Sharon. The medical equipment is currently being delivered. They just came back this morning on a Rhineford high-speed plane. He should be fine. I heard that doctor is really talented. Everything will be okay, Princess. And considering Ash is one of my classmates, this is an easy thing for me to say. That's true. I understand that something was off with Ash. My mother has calmly come to her own conclusions, so please don't worry about that. More importantly, I heard that Altina and Milliam are missing. And Cedric's speech. Princess? I decided to leave here and return to the girls' school. Huh? But why, Princess? I was worried about my mother, but she told me to take care of whatever I need to take care of. Now that Cedric's given his speech, I want to see how things are outside the palace. You know, I'm really just thinking, like, I want to make a music video, but if the whole last stuff is cut out, I'm going to need to figure out how I'm going to do that. That's very commendable of you, Princess. It's probably best for you to see the situation for yourself. Indeed, but please have someone escort you. Your safety is also imperative. Please don't worry. I'll have my finest guards accompanying me. Elise, let's meet at the hotel. I should be there in an hour. Very well, I shall be waiting. Please be careful. And thank you for understanding what Ash is going through. To show our thanks, let us take care of things. Ash's behavior, the Chancellor and Prince Cedric's speeches, and the imminent war with Calvert. We'll find out who's pulling the strings behind Erebonia, and get our peaceful world back. Instructor, the same goes for me, Princess. The Expector Corp won't tolerate this either. And we will find whatever it was that dragged your brother into this. You can count on us. Of course. Thank you, everyone. Oh, this is uncomfortable. After that, the call was cut off short so Princess Alphen could make her own call. Everyone said their goodbyes to Elise and the others before heading out. Where's Schmidt? He hasn't come back since he left for the airport. Sheesh, I was hoping I could talk to him about Prince Albert's conclusion. Is something going on? I heard you received some documents 2 days ago. Yes, I've come up with a new idea. Oh well, he'll probably come back once he gets hungry. I'm sure the princess feels a lot better after speaking with everyone. Prince Albert has been out since this morning and... Oh yeah, he made some comments on the radio. It seemed like he was trying really hard to calm everyone down. I heard the Viscount and Tolval ordered the courageous. I see, I'm sure that would put the princess more at ease. Please be careful, don't let the guards find you. Yeah, I'll be careful. You too, Elise. Take care of yourself and the princess as well. I just talked to Elise, so why is it still blue? Mother, what's up with Sharon? She hasn't been back since she left this morning. What of it? Elise, I know that I'm being an outsider. It's not my place to say this, but... No, you're not an outsider. She did, after all, tell you about her past. Huh? When she helped me in Crossbow. She told me to tell you if anything happened to her. So that's what they were talking about. They did look really serious. You must know why he knows about her past, but you don't. Do you not? I understand. I'm still unreliable. To Sharon, I'm nothing but a burden. But I've kept the 4th Development Division running this past year. I've launched projects that even you don't know about, Mother. You must know they exist, but you don't know any of the details, do you? That's... Well, of course. After all, you made it the RF's rule that every division be independent. So I, not as Arena Reinford's daughter, but as the chief of the 4th Development Division, Elise Reinford, feel that I have been doing my job. Our positions might be different, but as equal employees, I am not going to rely on you for this. I will discover the truth on my own. Not to mention, she isn't too far. Honestly, you do realize that's some big talk for someone who only has a year of experience, right? Yes, but Grandfather told me you were like this when you were younger too. You met Father while your work had stalled. What a loudmouth. Elisa, are you sure about this? I can just tell you what Sharon told me. Thanks, but now's not the time. I'll find Sharon and ask her myself. Elisa, that's the spirit. Don't be given things. Take them for yourself. Wow, she's so cool. Do as you please. You will see that this current situation is far more dire than you know. But see for yourself with your very own eyes, and don't you dare look away. Of course. Understood. That goes for all of us, including Elisa. Oh, geez, again, this is such a weird-ass recording setup. Like, I'm basically just hunched over. Legs are kind of hurting because I'm trying not to, like, slip and just fall face first onto my phone and the TV stand. Alright, now we go, and this is where the scene starts. Yeah, let's go. Heimdall Cathedral. The main guy said people wish to speak with us. It'll probably take a while, so we should take care of any unfinished business. Yep, that's like no turning back. And then we'll see this, it'll say the screen is getting blocked. This is the reason I had to do it on my phone. No one's here? How can this cathedral be completely empty?
So, you've arrived at last.
Oh. You're... from the Weaves Chapel? Sister Rosine. I had heard rumors, but... Wait, so what Gaius and Emma were talking about... I was somewhat expecting you to show up here. But your main objective is different, right?
Yes, it's good to see you all again.
Oh my... God, I cannot sit like this.
Please, come in. They're waiting for you just over there.
Okay, I gotta do something. Oh my god, my knees hurt now. Like, they are just... Ow. Dog, please stop whining. Ugh.
Ah, I'm glad you all finally made it. The church has decided this issue now merits the attention of the Congregation for the Sacraments. As such, the Archbishop and all the staff here have been moved to another location.
Huh? You're... Ah, I get it now. Huh? Nah, jeez. I should really turn on my PlayStation notifications because we can't have this going on right now. You're that former instructor from Thor's main campus. Thomas.
Thank you for all your diligence, Rosine. I'd feel much better if you were to stand watch over the front door now, just in case.
Yes, understood. Leave it to me.
What was all that about? Yes, this was pretty shocking to us too.
Let me introduce you. This man is a member of the Gralsritter, a division of the Septian Church. He's the second in command, in fact. Thomas Lysander.
Yeah, I sure didn't know that.
He holds the seat of Second Dominion, and is sometimes known by his title, the Partitioner.
This is why you gotta go through Trails of Cold Steel 2 New Game Plus, which I didn't, but I still watched that scene. Gralsritter? They're armed knight organization that is run by the church. I'd heard that female terrorist S was once among their ranks. Wait a minute! Guys, does this mean... Are you?
Now allow me to introduce you. This man is one of the Gralsritter's 12 Dominion, the successor to the 8th Dominion. Gaius Warzel.
But why? Is this why we couldn't get a hold of you for the past 6 months?
Yeah, a lot happened all at once. After graduating from Thors, I returned to Nord and began observing the struggle between Erebonia and Calvert. However, I began to feel something dark and sinister carried on the winds of the plateaus. I consulted my father and the chief, and eventually my old teacher, Father Barkhorn, came to visit. You might remember the name. He was the traveling priest we chased after during the Civil War. But it turns out, he was also the 8th Dominion of the Gralsritter, with the title the Roaring Lion. He was an extremely skilled knight, who investigated the Salt Pale in Northumbria and trained Brigadier General Bardius. Apparently, he was worried, and came to Nord to check up on me. He explained to me that what I had been sensing was called the Gale of Ruin. I'm not sure why I'm able to sense it. Maybe it's because I'm a descendant of those who fought alongside the Lionheart Emperor. I mentioned this to him and he came to a realization. But then it happened. A Calvardian ship that broke past the 7th Armored Division attacked my village.
Again, your village got in trouble, Gaius?
My father was away at the time. I fought back in an attempt to protect my family, but it was no use. Right as I prepared myself for death, my teacher threw his huge body in the way to protect me. And as he lay there dying, he passed his stigma onto me. Across the nearly 1,000-year history of the Gralsritter, its highest-ranking members have each borne one of 12 sacred markings. This was one of those markings.
See, Gaius, okay, so this is when Gaius gained that power, but Gaius has always had some kind of power to him. Because again, if you go back to Cold Steel 1, and when we fight the Nosferatu, Gaius is the only one who wasn't held down by the Nosferatu. He was still standing. The Roaring Lion. I've heard that name many times. He saved many people who were affected by the disaster in Northumbria. Yes, among the current Dominion members, he was the most veteran. And after the stigma was passed to Gaius, I took him to the holy city of Artair, where he received knight training, hence his half-year of silence. I see. If that's what was happening, you should have told us. Yeah, we could have helped you. It's okay, everything happened so quickly. I did everything I had to do and finished my night training. Last month, Yusuf was finally able to reach me. The power that I've received from my master. With it, I will save the Empire, my second home, as a member of Class 7. Gaius? Sheesh. You've always been so grand and reliable. Thank you, Gaius. Please, lend us your strength. Yes, I will give you my all. Seeing something like him puts us under even more pressure. Yeah, the gap isn't just an age or experience. This group certainly has become awfully formidable. Not really. We're still training just as much as you guys. I have a ways to go before I reach the heights of my predecessors. And speaking of which...
Grandmother! Stop hiding! Come out already! You're the one who called us here in the first place, aren't you?
I only hid myself so as not to interrupt your discussion.
Ah, you're Emma's grandmother. The elder of the witches. Rosalia, was it?
Indeed. But you may simply call me Rose. I had you all gather here for one reason. To explain to you the background between the Hexen clan and the church.
I see, so that's how it is. Aren't the witches opposed to the church?
It's not as though we don't believe in Adios. There have been some differences in opinion over the years, but we and the church have worked together on a number of occasions.
For example, during the War of the Lions, or the vampire incident in the Middle Ages. Not to mention the fight against the Dark Dragon 800 years ago.
But all that was just Rose sticking her nose into other people's business.
Huh? Wait, so you were involved in all of that?
Legend has it, Emperor Dreikel's camp was once visited by a good witch. And the novel Red Moon Rose features a vampire hunter affiliated with the church who was, in truth, the true ancestor of the vampires.
Huh.
The woman you now see before you was both of these people, even if she looks a bit different.
I like how she just showed off her teeth there. How old are you exactly?
800 or so. However, you should know that my situation is somewhat unique. All other witches are normal humans. Except, of course, for the fact that they are all descendants of those who once guarded the Septarian of Fire.
Septarian of Fire. It's the same as the whatever Laburl and the Great Tree of Crossbow. The Septarians, the 7 gifts bestowed on humanity by Adios. I also, last night, just finished watching a Twit Gamers playthrough of Trails from Zero, so I know a lot of knowledge. I just gotta watch Trails to Azure, and then, you know, I know even more knowledge. I know all of the Crossbow games, but I won't know of everything in Laburl because, well, I want to do that myself, no matter how much Cold Steel 4 or these Crossbow games spoil me. It said that they were all lost during the Great Collapse 1,200 years ago. They're the things Ouroboros has been trying to get their hands on all this time. Yeah, now for the main topic. Now, where to begin? Grandmother, we don't know anything beyond this. Don't leave out any details. Make sure you explain it fully. I second that request. I don't know the details either. Let's see. Rosalia, perhaps we should take turns talking. Very well, that will suffice. I'm sure you've noticed by now, but there is a front and back to this empire. The spirit veins are directly affected by the turbulence of the government and war, and that causes cryptids and powerful monsters from other planes to stir. That explains it. As the empire's territory spreads, so will they. The forum with grass and magic knights. Where did they come from in the first place? Well, to begin, Borma grass is a monograss from the higher planes. It once served as the eyes and ears of the Septarian of Mirage. Normally it's blue, but after the instance in Crossbow it all vanished. That is, until after Crossbow became part of the Empire, at which point it began reappearing in the new scarlet shade. The implications are rather chilling. It changed color to match the infernal castle, perhaps. There is an undoubtedly a connection. As for the Magic Knights, you may have heard before, but they are golems from the Dark Ages. They were created by mages of the Empire to fight against the Divine Knights. During the Civil War, something caused them to stir once more, and they now appear in Crossbow via the Spirit Path. No way! That would also explain the increased incidents with cryptids recently. What about the Society? The Phantasmal Blaze Planet. They sought to use Crossbow's false phantasm to awaken the blaze in Erebonia. At least that's what I heard. Seriously? So that's their plan. Where did you hear that? Well, last night I heard it from the Chancellor himself. He told me some other intriguing things, too, but I feel like he intentionally left out some of the more important details. I see. I heard you talk to him, but it seems Ouroboros worked in Crossbow's plan, and it worked. It seems Ouroboros' work in Crossbow 2 years ago was to bring about some kind of change in Erebonia. Just so you know, Crossbow's Mirage Septarian was an artificially created fake. It was stronger than the original, but society had no interest in it. God damn it, don't give me away, Crossbow. Were I to hazard a guess, their goal is to acquire the two treasures that originally existed here. The Septarians of Fire and Earth that once called the land of Erebos home. The Septarians of Fire and Earth. So Burl had the Septarian of Space and Crossbow, the Septarian of Mirage, but Erebonia had two Septarians. Hold on a second. Emma, if the witches are the descendants of the people who guard the Septarian of Fire, yes, then the Black Workshop and Gnomes are the same people. The descendants of those who guarded the Septarian of Earth. They are our counterparts, much like the royal family of Oberl and the Croyce family in Crossbell. In addition, you may be aware that each Septarian has its own holy beast assigned to watch over. Oberl had an ancient dragon, Crossbell had a divine wolf, and it had two Septarians. Erebonia had two holy beasts as well. However, after the Great Collapse, each of them vanished alongside the Septarian they were to oversee. Alright, so it's about time to end this episode. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize for lag and just this weird-ass setup I got going.